Mark, one of the things that sticks out every year in Pro Day is you let your younger players come and watch and experience it with them. Is that part of preparing them for life at the end of their career for this event?
Yeah, you know, I think that when you come out here and you watch our guys work out, you know, the first thing that you recognize is you better be in shape, because they're going to test your endurance as much as anything. So it's good for them to see that. It's good for them to see guys under pressure, have to perform under pressure. So all the things are very, very positive. See you, Kay. Okay, buddy. Take care. Yep.
2 practices in the spring workout.
Yeah, we're not talking about spring ball right now, so we'll keep it on Pro Day. Sorry.
You had 2 small classes here last year. Is that better for guys to have a little more individual attention like that during a big class?
Well, like I said, it's going to test their endurance, you know, because they've got one guy working out, you know, numerous times there. But like I said, in the recruiting aspect of it, you know, we had 4 or 5 guys that probably could have gone out and decided to stay. So, you know, that's a positive from where I'm sitting right now. But it was good to see our guys work out, and I thought that they all did a nice job, you know.
One of the scouts told me that one of the things they like about Michigan State is they go to some pro days and the staff isn't really around, but all of yours is, and including wait staff and everyone else. So if they have questions, they can go to the specific people. Is that one of the sales jobs that you do have in recruiting? Is, hey, we're going to work to sell you?
No, you know, in recruiting we talk about so many different aspects that you can reach your goals, whatever they are. Certainly, if you're playing college football or high school football, your goal is to get in the NFL. And we want to try and do everything we can do to advance that. So we'll be here, and we'll be here through the duration for them.
Mark, Justin, you know, obviously comes in as a receiver now. He's a guy that people are talking about as a top 2 round pick. You know, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe even 3. I guess. When you look at him now, sort of leaving as his finished product in terms of a college player, what do you think about just his growth and obviously development at that position? Yeah,
you know, he reminds me a lot of Trey Waynes, really, in a lot of ways. He's long, he really catches the football. You guys saw that. He's got good raw speed, and he can run and jump, and he can tackle. And I think if you can tackle at this level, you know, good things are ahead of you in the second year. So, but you got to play the ball in the middle of the field, in the deep part of the field, and also be able to change direction and tackle. Things.
What do teams typically want to see from your defensive backs? Because you've obviously had a lot of successful ones. You guys sort of do what you do defensively, and it might not be the same as what team. You know. So what typically do they like to see when it's sort of?
Yeah, just what I just said. You got to play the ball in the deep part of the field. You got to change direction and be able to run relative to who you're playing against, and you got to be able to tackle. You know, when you take it all down on film, you know, if you can make tackles in the back end, you can play.
When you see LJ at this point, kind of have a little bit of sadness and wishfulness.
Yeah, I wish him the best. You know, I know that he could have came back and he made that decision late in the game here, late in the season to go. But I think he has NFL talent. You know, I think he looked healthy out there. And again, you got one guy working out, so you know they're going to get their money's worth.
Do you get any idea what NFL people think about Khari Willis in terms of off the field, locker room, personality, those character type of things? Do you hear back? Do you hear back from?
Hear a lot of very positive things about Khari, relative to his play, first of all, and how he performed at the combine, not just on the field but in the meetings. And you know, he's a draftable guy. I think he's a draftable guy, and that's what everybody's deciding where to draft him. But you know, he's as good a leader as we've had here in 12 years, and sort of an unassuming leader, not a guy that's just going to lead to lead. You know, he's going to listen first and then lead, and I think that's a very strong attribute.
A couple of the scouts were pleasantly surprised with Dowell's 40, and then when they learned that he ran his sprints with the defensive backs, they were even more shocked. With his athleticism, is that a guy you just see continues to have a big upside?
Yeah, big upside. You know, the thing that I mentioned to them is that, you know, he was a tailback and he was a safety in high school, and he transitioned to the outside back position here, and certainly ran a lot here and played for 4 years, and so hopefully I thought he took a step in the right direction on Pro Day.
With Reschke's journey, not just the off-field stuff, but on the field. I mean, he had that knee injury. Where do you see him at now physically? I mean, he's an older guy now for this process.
Yeah, you know, he's an older guy, and he came back after 2 significant injuries. Hadn't played football for a year and a half. Started sort of slow during the season, but really played well towards the end of the season. I think that, you know, you look at end of the season tape on him, I think there's positives there too as well. And he's a great athlete, and he's a very good player for us.
It was important for the other guys to embrace him, and it sounds like they really did, and he embraced them too.
Yes, that's correct. Absolutely.
Can you detect which players may have helped themselves today? Did anyone catch your eye, or did you hear anything from the scouts that anyone really took a step?
I think they all have an opportunity. I thought Matt Sokol did a nice job out there. You know, he ran crisp routes, caught the ball very well. But you can look at all of them, and it's such, you know, the endurance of working out a guy for 15, 20 minutes, a lot of change direction drills. You can see that it wears on you a little bit, and you got to be in shape to do that. So, but I thought they all performed well, and you know, they're gonna have an opportunity.
Now, what do you do with these guys that are in this process between now and the draft, and in terms of your involvement with it?
I'm just really a guy that will try and help them in any way I can, whatever that would be. But they're sort of on to the next thing. You know, they've got their agents, they're working out wherever they're working out. And, you know, some people will be worked out back in here with the coach coming by and things of that nature. But it's a big, long waiting game now for a lot of them too. So I'm sure the NFL is going to do more film work on guys and continually try and build a case to say who do we take, when, where, what.
Mark, do you know what into the decision for Justin to not run the 40 today? Is it something that he consulted with you on?
No, those are the decisions that he made. But I think that when you test at, if you're testing at a site where everybody's running on the same surface with the same timing instruments, timed by the same people, there's a constant there, and there's a good comparison there. And the fact that he went 11-1 and I think 38 or something like that on the vertical jump, I think were great numbers. And you know, he's a 4.5 or 4.43 or whatever he is. He can run. I think you just watch the tape, you can see that.
That's two for coach, guys, and the guys are available.
Do you know what Felton's status is or his next steps? And is he a guy that you get a lot of questions about just because he isn't able to obviously perform right now?
Yeah, I'm not sure when he'll be able to go, but I think there's a great deal of interest in him. You know, he's a big guy, and he's very athletic. He's got his own numbers that he's done, so they're just going to have to try and test him at a later date, hopefully before the draft. But you know, he's a phenomenal player, so hopefully his play speaks for itself.
Was it good for you to make contact or to be in contact with Justin Lane again after he was away, and your thoughts about that whole thing?
You know, I was disappointed, you know, in the fact that he didn't play in the bowl game. I'm not, you know, pulling away from that aspect, you know. So, you know, he set a precedent, so there's got to be some kind of consequences, but his consequences don't have to involve pro day. We want to allow him the opportunity to show out here and to make a living. But just little things like that. But we have a great relationship, and he was in to talk today, so it's all good.
How do you use that situation moving forward for guys in the future that might do it?
Well, you got to, like I said, you got to, you know, it sets a precedent, so there's got to be a standard. That standard's got to be equal to all, you know, relative to our program and relative to the player involved too. So, you know, that'll be an in-house thing.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks.